PROF coming at you with a video on this Tuesday, March 24th, 2020. And I apologize if you hear a lawnmower outside the window. It's just near the apartment where I'm at. And my apologies for that, but hopefully it won't be too bad. I am hoping that you guys will see this video and it will hopefully be a source of encouragement for you. Let me give a few moments for people to filter in because this is live. But I wanted to take some time out today to talk to you guys about this subject about staying positive. And I know, Summers, hello, how are you? I know there's not really a lot of positive news in the world right now, seemingly, because it's being overshadowed by the great virus. I don't know if I'm the first person to say that, but if I am, you can use it. You heard it here first, the great virus. We had the Great Recession 12 years ago. Now we have the great virus. And this virus is infecting people and countries all around the world. Here in the United States, I can't think of a part of life it hasn't already touched or impacted. It seems like it's hit all of them. Kaaren and I were out driving around yesterday a little bit. We were social distancing and so on, but we literally had to drop something off at the post office. And it was weird to see so many businesses that were closed. The streets were clear, which was a good thing. I probably should have put this in the fourth positive thing in this video. There's less traffic right now. There's less pollution. There's less people milling about. And it was odd. It was definitely, it felt like a holiday, maybe like a holiday where, you know, it's Christmas morning and there's just not a lot of people out and about because they're all home with their families and doing their thing, celebrating. And yeah, so, you know, that brings up a bigger question about the social distancing aspect. You know, how do they expect people exactly to not go out into the world? That's a little tricky. I know they want people to stay home, and I get the reasons for that, and I think they're good reasons to limit the spread and so on of this great virus. Hashtag great virus. It's going to be my one claim to fame if this goes viral. It probably won't. No pun intended there. But it's very difficult to figure out how to go and get everything you need without going out and about in the world. If anybody's got any ideas on that, I know ordering online is part of it, but it's difficult sometimes to order everything you need online. And, you know, it's just tricky to make it work. So it's definitely a new world we're in. So I'm going to say hello to a couple other people that got in the chat. Hey, High Desert Barb is here. What is up? Aaron, how's it going? Sue, I see you in the chat with the claps. Clapping your hands. That sounded bad. Sorry. Fabiola, good morning. Only going to the post office, one sale. Yeah. Here comes this mower, by the way. My apologies if you guys hear it. It's very loud in here. But yeah, the post office is having some struggles right now too. So I think they're looking for a bailout. Maybe they'll get it. I would think they will. I think everybody's going to get a bailout at this moment. I don't think spending money is going to be the issue. I think it's just going to be a matter of who and how much and when. But you know, I could be wrong about that. I know they're having some talks about that here in the U.S. in our Congress, trying to navigate that that course of action. Hey, dude, whatever happened to you? Tony says, I'm right here, Tony. What happened to you? No, I'm right here. Couple side notes before I kind of get into the three things I wanted to cover real quick. It's not going to be a super long video today. As many of you guys know, I started as a seasonal worker at Amazon last fall, basically for Q4. And gosh, this guy mowing is driving me nuts. He's literally right outside my window going over and over the same spot. He's gone over 5 times. My apologies. Anyway, I started with Amazon back last September as a seasonal employee working here in one of their centers. And I stayed on for various reasons. It was good for capital. It was good for some extra income and so on. And just recently I applied to get what's called a blue badge conversion. Basically what it means is they transition you from being seasonal to being more part-time. So, and your hire date or your start date actually kind of resets. You get some benefits from it. You're able to get the various insurances and so on. They wouldn't let me go just as easily now. They would go through a whole process. Hopefully that'll never happen. But yeah, it's kind of cool. I don't think my schedule is going to change on like that. But Amazon, as you guys know, is hiring 100,000 people. I saw about 25, at least on my shift last week, already start. I mean, it was like 2 days later after Amazon announced it. Man, they were quick. They're not fooling around. Those people are up and running. So I know, and there will be more. That's just the one shift we have during the afternoon. So there's more shifts than that. So I know in my center, they've probably hired, if I had to guess, 40 to 50 more people already. So they're serious about making sure they meet demand, making sure they get everything done. Gosh, I can't believe this guy mowing is just literally going by my window. So yeah, and it's going to, Amazon's going to continue to help provide everything that you guys need, which I'm excited to be a part of that company. We're going through some things there to make sure that we're safe as workers and so on. Jeff sent out, notice how I call him Jeff. He sent out an email the other day that was pretty cool, just talking about like what we're doing. Amazon has on back order millions of face masks for us as employees. We obviously are not able to get them quite yet because they're being prioritized for healthcare workers and people who are sick, which makes total sense. But once there's enough in production and we are able to, we will have those to wear at work as well, which is cool. We're already doing like social distancing things there at work, not social distancing, just workplace distancing, right? Just staying away from each other. And that would be, that should help. And we're like today, I have to clock in later because they blocked up the way we clock in so that there's not so many people congregating at the time clock all at once. We're going to clock in segments based on our last name, which is cool. So I get an extra 15 minutes to get there. I'm not sure how that works exactly. Hopefully I'll get paid for those 15 minutes. I think I will. But Amazon is taking it seriously, so I'm still there with them. And who knows? I was talking with somebody today about what the future will be with them. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, I'm just taking it one day at a time right now, just trying to go in and do a good job. And there's a little bit of pride in being a part of helping people get what they need right now, which is pretty cool to be a part of. I mean, I feel like I'm working in a business that actually is helping people get things they need for their daily lives right now. And that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool to be a part of. A Purple Lily says, Jeff wants to be on your video. Yeah. Are you talking about Tony? I'm not sure you're talking about Purple Lily, but maybe Jeff Bezos wants to be on my video. He's welcome. I would love to interview him. It'd be great. So I wanted to talk to you guys today about three reasons I think you should stay positive as a reseller. And if you're a reseller, you're probably thinking right now, things are very much up in the air. If you're on Amazon and depending on what you're selling, you may not be able to send products in. I've already shifted to selling some books on Fulfilled by Merchant. I know because I was doing a lot of books and those are not able to be sent in for FBA shipments right now. If you're an eBay seller, depending on what you're selling, some things are selling really well, some things are selling not as well. But ultimately, there's probably going to be, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. There's going to be an economic downturn. I don't think there's any question about that. There's going to be an economic downturn. We've already seen the stock market take a huge hit, which has obviously hurt some people's investments and savings and retirements and things like that. There will probably be some economic contraction of the world's major economies just because that's how these things go. And that will probably affect you as a reseller in different ways. It could help you, it could hurt you, just depending on what you sell and to who and what platform you use. But I just want to talk about a couple or three reasons why I think you should still stay positive. And this first one is, we've been through this sort of thing before. And what do I mean by that? Have we been through a virus that's sweeping through the world and claiming lives, tying down medical facilities? Well, yeah, actually, we have multiple times in our history. Maybe not any to Alexa, stop. Sorry, Alexa was giving me a notice. We've been through this many times before, and it's just one of those things where we're going to have to get through it. We've been through viral breakouts. We've been through epidemics. We've been through SARS. We've been through MERS. We've been through the avian flu. We've been through multiple. I mean, we go through the flu season all year round. We've been through HIV. We've been through Ebola scares or Ebola outbreaks. I mean, there's been multiple things. Now, this one seems pretty pervasive and widespread. Maybe not as lethal as some of those ones I just mentioned, but it still is dangerous in its own right because it ties down resources and it makes people sick. So I just think that we need to keep perspective on this, guys. It's bad. It sucks. It's very surreal right now, what we're going through, but we have been through it before and we're going to get through this. That's an important thing to remember because, it's easy to kind of think this is the worst it's ever been. I don't know that that's really true. Probably there's probably lots of other times in this nation, the United States' history, and other worlds, the other nations of the world, their history, that they've been through much worse times. From talking to people who lived through it, World War II was pretty bad. It was pretty rough from every standpoint. The Depression was horrible, and it went on for a long time. I don't think this is going to go on for as long. The world has changed. But I do think that it's important to remember that this is, while we all feel like, we're special, and we are in our own sense, but we're special in the sense that this is, it's easy to fall into a victim role and think, this is so terrible. I can't believe this has happened to me and to us. It's happened to people before. It's happened to society before. Never in our history have we been better prepared to act than now. That doesn't mean it's going to be a perfect set of reactions. It doesn't mean that, everything is going to go, perfectly, but it does mean that we have resources, we have technology, we have communication, we have knowledge about these things. And we've just got to put some will and time in here and some energy into this. And it's going to take some time. It's not going to be over overnight, which sucks. Kaaren and I were talking about the other day, when people go through like a hurricane, for instance, the hurricane comes in and it batters an area for, a day or two, and then things are destroyed, things are upended, but then help and resources come in. It's, they start rebuilding it. This is not a 1 or 2 day thing. This is a much longer event. It's weeks or months. So we got to settle in and get our mind wrapped around that these sorts of things have happened in the past, and, we need perspective on that. Second thing I would say as a reseller is this: a lot of opportunities are going to rise out of this. The Great Depression made millionaires out of lots of people for various reasons, because from great economic collapse comes great economic opportunity. Now, sometimes that opportunity can take a while to come to fruition. And you're probably sitting there as an eBay or Amazon seller thinking, well, what sort of opportunities are going to come out of this? Well, I'm going to tell you what's going to come out of this. There is going to be a tremendous amount of inventory of things to sell out there that people are going to want to get rid of, throw away, put in storage units they can't pay for, sometimes, lose their home or possessions that honestly, we kind of have a responsibility to rescue from the landfills, to rescue and turn back into something that somebody can use. And yes, that will help us. And maybe you can help the person too if you can buy it from them. But the reality is there's going to be a lot of opportunities that are going to arise out of this for us as resellers. And we need to look at it the proper way. I don't want people to take away from this message and say, well, PROF's saying that you should go out there and profit off of people's misery. That's not what I'm saying at all. You should find ways to help people out. If somebody has lost their jobs and now needs to get rid of a bunch of crap because maybe they're downsizing their home or they're getting rid of a storage unit or whatever, find ways to help them out. Moving the items out, paying them for the items. These are all ways to help them out. They actually are going to do those things whether you're there on the scene or not. Plus, you're going to put those items back into good use and potentially in the economy. You're going to stimulate economic opportunity when somebody buys it. And, economics is not a zero-sum game where like one person gets all the money and then everybody else has nothing left. People buy and sell things all the time. And when you sell something and you get money for it, you take that money and you go purchase things with it. And round and round it goes. That's how our economy works. So there's going to be all these opportunities that are going to come out of this. And I think it's important just to remember that you may even see that you need to go in a whole different direction. Maybe you will be able to go out and provide resources for people in your neighborhood to, get rid of their things, to sell their things, and connect them with, connecting buyers and sellers. Maybe you will be able to personally help some of them. If there's economic downturn from this and people are, in some dire, maybe not dire straits, but just worse straits than they were when this started, it's going to create opportunities for everybody. And that's the way this works. This system we built of capitalism and kind of a republic that we have here of sorts, this democratic republic, it's not perfect. And it produces all kinds of consequences, unintended or not, but it's ultimately in its heart destructive. And when I say destructive, I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean in the way that we're constantly building things up and tearing them down and rebuilding them again. That's just the way that it works. It's always worked that way. And it's painful because people want to think, things are just going to go up, 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 up forever. That's just not reality. Platforms and businesses are going to change. Product categories are going to be different. Economic output's going to change. The stock market's going to go up and down. There's going to be roller coasters. That's just the way it is. You have to take a really long view. When I used to play poker quite a bit, we used to talk a lot about the expectation of a hand. So for instance, if I have, a pair of queens and you've got a 9-3 of clubs, there's going to be times that your 9-3 of clubs would win a hand if we played it all the way out to the end. I wouldn't say it's luck, it's just probability. Sometimes you're going to catch 2 9s and win, or a 9 and a 3 and win. But in the majority of cases, the queens are going to beat the 9 and the 3. So all you can ever really do as a good poker player is make the play that gives you the best positive outcome in the long run. But in the short run, any one hand, anything could happen. There's just a probability of it. Something's going to happen. You're going to win or lose the hand for the most, barring any ties. How does that apply to reselling and so on? Well, you're going to have all these opportunities that you may not be able to see the future. You can't see what's going to happen 5 years or 10 years from now or 20 years from now. Nobody can really see that. But you're going to want to put yourself in the position to make moves and to make decisions that give you the best chance possible to be successful, given all the factors and everything That's all we can really do. This is no different than buying a product that we have a reasonable expectation that this product is going to sell for in this range of money over this period of time, which will generate this range of profit. That's all we can ever do, right? We may end up selling it for at the bottom of that range or even below that range. We may sell it for more than that range, but we think there's a reasonably good chance it will sell in a range over a period of time. You do this subconsciously, if not consciously. And that's all we can do with what we're going to do over these next few weeks and months is make decisions that we think will position us the best. And, we can talk about that more in depth, but it just comes back to something I mentioned in the last video I did about diversifying your revenue, diversifying where your money's coming from, not being tied to any one source too much, keeping your eyes open to new opportunities that are going to arise because they will be there, creating opportunities for yourself. So, keep that all in mind for positive, just to stay positive in this, that there's going to be a lot of opportunities that are going to come out of this and you just have to be ready to take them. see if I missed any other comments here. D. Conley says, removal order delays and long-term storage fee waiver just got from Amazon. Yeah, I haven't seen that message yet, but that makes sense that there would be. I'm not sure Amazon even wants to tie their workers up or their resources up in getting rid of long-term items right now. They'd rather you just stay there, because it's not they so much need the space, they just need the manpower to go do other things. You know, one of the downsides about having a seasonality to your business is we were at the period at Amazon. I can tell you from my own inside experience where we had gotten rid of, I hate to use that word, we had let go most of the people who were seasonal employees from Q4 that were not going to stay on more permanently. So we were kind of running on a smaller crew. Now this all comes along and all of a sudden everybody wants everything right now, and you don't have the bodies to get it done. So that's why they're going on this hiring kick. You know, some of these people won't stay either. And that's just reality. Some of these people, maybe 3 months from now, won't have a job. We all knew that when we signed up for it. I knew that when I signed up back last September. I thought I would be let go probably in January, and just by circumstance, I wasn't. So, you know, just expect that, you know, Amazon's doing the best they can with this to figure this out, because it's really unprecedented territory for them as well. The third thing I want to say to you guys, and this is probably the most important one, and it's the one that I think we probably forget in our moments of doubt, our moments, our low points, and so on. And I heard our pastor say something like this weekend. He said, we're all always going through something, but right now we're all going through the same thing, which is very true and very unappreciated. And it just reminds me that we're all in this together. And what I mean by that is nobody is really being spared from the impact of this virus and this global outbreak. Everybody has been affected for the most part in some ways. And even the people who are sort of in denial about it are likely to be affected in the not so distant future if they haven't already. There's people you're going to know that are going to come down with this thing potentially. They're going to get sick. Most of them are going to be fine, but you know, there's going to be some where it's going to be more serious. There's an economic fallout to this that's probably going to ripple through everybody. One of the things I really like that Jeff Bezos said in the email to us is that he knew that like a lot of businesses right now are laying off people, like in service industries and so on. And he hoped that a lot of those people would try to would come on to work in Amazon. He'd provide them employment during this time, which I thought was a really nice thing to say. And I know it's a very easy process to get on there, but you're going to, like, if you aren't affected by this right now, you for sure have somebody who is you're going to know somebody soon. So don't forget we're in this together. Take comfort in that. Rally around your other fellow resellers. I saw Jameson did like a group meeting on Facebook the other day with, some people he had met at some of the Tony Robbins events. I think that's amazing. That's great. I mean, staying connected to people, and this is important because it's easy to sort of curl up in a ball and hope, everything goes away. You need to reach out to people. You need to connect to others. Maybe even people you haven't, this is your opportunity. Like people you've always wanted to connect to or have some sort of interaction with. Now's your chance. There's no reason not to do it. I've been doing that with various resellers and people that I know in the community. And it's great because it reminds me that everybody right now is struggling. Everybody's going through this together. Everybody's trying to figure out what's going to happen next. And nobody has the answers. But answers come when they come. And things resolve when they get resolved. And sitting around worrying about it, fretting over it, stressing over it isn't going to do us any good. It's not going to make the situation any better. It's not going to make us feel any better. It's going to make us feel worse. It's not going to make us any more successful in our business. And I know it's tempting to just think, well, everything's going to hell in a handbasket and this is the end of everything. But as I've mentioned earlier, that is not the case. That's not what's going to happen. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be a challenge. It's going to knock a lot of people down. And your job is to get back up. And one of the ways you do that is you find a support system around you, people who will help you back up when you fall down in this, and you can help them as well. And I think that's super, super important. So you need to stay connected to people, through YouTube, through Facebook, through forums, through email, through chats, through text, whatever methods you want to use. And don't let that go. You can isolate your body, but you don't have to isolate your mind and your personality. That can still be out there. We live in this amazing age where we have the ability to just literally call up someone and connect to them, to text them, to be on a video chat with them. And I recommend the video chat option as well, and talking to them, to see them. Like a friend of mine, Eric, who I have lunch with all the time, we actually hadn't been able to connect for lunch in a couple weeks anyway. But last week we did a video lunch together. He was at his house, and he lives here in Charlotte, and we knew we couldn't go out anywhere and eat because everywhere was closed. They wouldn't let you sit down and eat. So we said, hey, we'll just do lunch like this. And we talked and had a good conversation. And it was great, to connect to him and see what he's up to and how he and his family are getting through all this. So I would just say, don't forget to do that. Stay connected to your reselling community, to the people out there that you've talked to. Reach out to them. Even if you haven't talked to them in a while, reach out and ask them how they're doing with this. Just when you ask somebody that question, I find when somebody asks me that question, there's great value in being able to tell somebody how you're doing. Even if that person on the other end can't do anything about it, doesn't matter. There's still great value in somebody just saying to you, tell me how it's going for you guys. How are you guys holding up? It's just so awesome that somebody cares and somebody wants to hear, how you're getting through it. And you don't have to expect them to fix anything. You just talk, you just get it out. Like, you've got to let all this angst and anxiety and anger and bitterness and annoyance and isolation, you got to let all this stuff out, man. It'll just eat you up if you don't. Kaaren and I it's been great. We've been together, these last few days, especially. We were together for 3 straight days, and she's been feeling under the weather. Hers is her regular allergies this time of year. But it was great to just be able to connect to her. We had a great few days together. We laughed, we talked, and yeah, we knew that there's bad things going on in the world, but man, you just can't live in that bad stuff all the time. You've got to find your ports in the storm, so to speak. So I would highly, highly recommend that you connect to people, that you stay connected to them. If you're already connected, and if you haven't been before, make some new friends, make a new group. It's communication works 2 ways, right? You don't have to sit around and wait for somebody to ask you. You can go do it on your own, and you should just make the effort. It's worth it. So those are 3 tips that I wanted to share with you guys, just to maybe hopefully give you some encouragement. And honestly, selfishly, I want to say them out loud too, because it reminds me to stay encouraged. And I have had some success, as I mentioned earlier, with selling some books, Merchant Fulfilled. I think I've listed about 25 and sold 3. So pretty good sell through already. I don't know how I'm going to get more, but there might be a way. I might try to find some ways to do that here locally without having a lot of interaction with people. Books that people don't want, maybe I've talked about free ways to get books for a long time and so on, and I haven't done too many of them. So maybe this is my opportunity to go out and say, all right, let's see what people have got out there. So I may do some of that. I definitely want to get some more books in and get those listed. I'm starting to get a little bit, I'm getting kind of interested in this Fulfilled by Merchant idea. And I'm curious if you guys have had the same. For those of you who are Amazon sellers, have you gone the Fulfilled by Merchant route? This is really my first time doing it. And what has your experience been? So leave that in the chat, or leave it as a comment below. And if you're an eBay seller, how has this changed the way you source? I know a lot of you do thrifting and yard sales and estate sales. And I'm not sure how many of those are going to still be open. I know I think even some of the chains, like the Goodwills and so on here, are closing or closing early. I'm not sure, but I'm kind of curious what people's strategies have been. And, if you want to share them with others, that would be cool, because then they can learn from you too. So leave that in the chat or leave that down in the comments below. So, all right, guys. Well, look, thanks so much for jumping on with me today. That's going to do it. Go out there and connect to others. Don't forget, we've been through this before, and keep your eye out for all those opportunities, because they're going to be out there. So I hope it was helpful, and I hope you guys stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you all real soon. This is Prof Sales saying good sales to you.